Good morning and welcome to episode 1502 of Hard Factor. Or is it 1503? Pretty sure it's 1502. 1502, Monday, July 15th, 2024. Thank you for cheating on the news with us. 80-ish% accuracy guaranteed on this podcast. Patreon.com/hardfactor for more. If you need more, because you probably do, up to 3 weekly bonus podcasts over there. Discord chat access. Get at us. Today, we are recapping what is surely one of the craziest weekends in American history. Probably the craziest one that the four of us have lived through. I don't know. Alec Baldwin surprisingly got let off completely on a mistrial on Friday night. And then several high-profile deaths of celebrities, athletes. And then, of course, former President Trump was very nearly assassinated on Saturday at a campaign rally in Butler, Pennsylvania. Wild stuff that we'll be recapping this weekend. And maybe some funny ones to end it, right?
Hopefully some funny ones to palate cleanse. I mean, this is why we can't have nice things. This is a week after the 4th of July. We go absolutely ape shit.
Yeah, it's tough. We're not on our best run of like sanity, right? And so this is just another sort of string line, dot in the line. It's not our most sane weekend.
No.
Crazy stuff. Crazy, wacky stuff.
Is it the first assassination attempt that the four of us have lived through?
Yeah, I was gonna say 9/11 was crazier than this, but
no. Gabby Giffords was assassinated.
Shot in the face
on her life.
Yeah.
Steve Scalise got
first
shot.
presidential. No.
Yes.
I'm not talking.
Yeah,
about,
I was trying to think. I think it's the first. It's the first.
Reagan was the last one.
Yeah, we were very young when Reagan.
81.
Happened.
We were all babies.
We were babies.
So none of us have been.
Okay, so
I wasn't born yet. Yeah.
Even West wasn't. Even West wasn't.
Not even I was born.
None of us were born. So this is the only one we've ever been alive for, a presidential assassination attempt. And I gotta say, it was pathetic. The Reagan one struck me as pathetic when it happened. This one also, it seemed like a pretty poor attempt. R.I.P. to the man who died. One bystander, at least in the crowd. But
another one was like critically wounded.
At least two.
Comparator.
Corey,
Dad, 50 years old, former firefighter. He did sign. Trump did start a GoFundMe for him, which has almost $3 million for the victims so far, which is awesome. But still really shitty that he
really shitty. So horrible that a bystander, was the one who ended up dying in the assassination attempt.
So what happened? Age, sex, location. What happened?
Right, Butler Farm Grounds in Pennsylvania, Saturday. The shooter was a 20-year-old from a conservative house, allegedly, I guess, but apparently wore a mask to school a ton. And was in a BlackRock commercial in 2023, very strangely. He also donated to Act Blue on Biden's first day in office. Wes, you got that BlackRock ad that the shooter was in?
Here it is.
My name is Brian DeLallo. I teach AP and honors economics in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. I think financial well-being to me is knowing that I can be free to do the things that I love to do.
BlackRock manages retirement.
I hope when I retire someday, they say that guy made this place a special place to come to school.
There he is.
As much as he could to help. Made this place a special place to come to school.
There he is, that loser.
Yeah, that guy. He's 20 years old. His name is Loser McLoser. Something three names as all.
Three names: Loser.
Thomas Matthew Crooks is his factual name.
That's the one. BlackRock, weird that he was featured in a 2023 BlackRock ad. BlackRock, obviously one of President Biden's biggest donors in terms of both cash and staff who now work at the White House. Very strange.
Well, I mean, you can't really say that because BlackRock's the biggest donor of everyone, everything, all the things.
But a lot of White House staff are former BlackRock employees. That's
BlackRock owns most of the ammo companies. They own everything. It's like it's
sure, but this administration is particularly closely tied to BlackRock.
I mean, if BlackRock paid me to show up for a commercial and not say anything, I mean, I wouldn't be.
Well, that's the question.
I'd do it.
That's the question. Did
they pay me to be on camera for 5 seconds
for a T-shirt? Yeah.
These kids, because a national, I don't know if it was a television. It looked like an internet ad, but a TV ad. A lot of people don't know this. A little inside baseball. If you get into a television ad that airs on network television, It's a minimum 6 figures in royalties on the first cycle. It's nice. I don't think this was TV, but yeah, you're taking that cash.
Corporate ad for themselves. Yeah. Corporations do this stuff. Anyways,
they got a lot of money to throw around too.
Yeah, obviously strange considering the close ties to the Biden administration with the BlackRock thing.
Well, and all administrations, everything. BlackRock owns everything.
BlackRock is
own everything.
Close to, particularly close to the Biden administration.
But what is the
they are.
No more particular than everything.
Yes, no, much more particular.
There's no tie, and it's a coincidence.
Well, what do you think the tie to BlackRock and this kid actually?
Nothing. That's a coincidence.
It's bad luck, probably. It's bad luck for BlackRock, probably. It's bad luck.
But then why are you saying the Biden administration when they own everything?
Because it is weird, Pat. You can't say that it's not a weird connection.
I mean, they probably had his phone number.
BlackRock.
They probably had his phone number, and they called him and said, "Hey, why don't you kill the president for us?"
It is an interesting connection. It's weird. There's no doubt about it.
This kid's very susceptible.
Yeah, look at that weirdo in that commercial from 10 years ago. Let's get him.
But they own everything.
It's a strange coincidence. Everybody's out there continuing to say that there was "quote unquote" no clear motive for the lone gunman, but it seemed pretty clear that he wanted.
Well, I think the reason they're doing that, I want to point out, because a lot of people are questioning why they do that. Why are they saying that? And why was they saying assassinate? It's a possible assassination attempt, is because of how divided the country is. When that motive comes out and people are already, initially, remember there was another shooter who was an Antifa guy that's who shot him, right? But it wasn't him. It was actually this other guy who's a registered Republican, but then donated to $15 to Act Blue. Because when we know, then that will be used by whatever side to manipulate it. That's why people are saying the motive isn't clear, because they don't know yet. And they know how heavy
which sucks. It sucks that this
he wanted to shoot Donald Trump.
Yeah,
I mean, that was clear.
Right. Like you could say,
I think we know he's insane, right?
I agree with you.
We can
all
want
to shoot Trump. Yeah,
he's insane. He wanted to shoot Trump. Both those things are clear.
I think he hated his dad.
Yeah, maybe it is.
Seems like it. Seems like
he also got bullied.
I hated him too. Yeah, there's a video of his classmates coming out, and one fat kid's just on his phone the whole time, and then his buddy's talking. It was weird. The guy's on camera, and the fat kid's just on his phone the entire time, just not paying attention to this big news interview. And the other guy's talking, and he's like, he got bullied horrifically every day. He sat by himself at lunch. We really bullied the shit out of him. He was a weirdo. And sometimes he'd wear hunting gear to class, but he always wore a mask even way after COVID. He was just a weird guy.
If I wanted to hurt my conservative dad, killing Trump would be one of the ways to piss him off the most. That's
number one.
Yeah,
probably number one. Yeah,
that would get him upset. Hey, speaking of that, Wes, in the live chat, Ryan Carvajal asked, "How did the kid get a gun on the roof with the rifle? That's nuts." Yeah, I don't know how he got it on the roof. Probably a police snafu there, but his dad bought him the rifle. That's the
dude.
Well, it was his dad's rifle, right? And then he took it.
Sure,
Kate had an interesting
rifle.
Kate had an interesting take last night, which I thought was really pretty bright. So, because if you look at the site, right, and if you haven't, I'm sure everyone's seen it.
Do you have the map?
Yeah, here it is. So 130 yards, very short sniper shot.
The closest building besides the ones directly behind it.
It's insanely weird. Not weird, but like if you've ever been in farmland, the fact that they chose this space is just it's a nothing burger. So there's 12 buildings. It's not like downtown Dallas where it's there's high rises and which floor the book depository is in.
Good point. You have 12 options.
Right. So right.
Yeah.
I mean, it's insanely easy. It's literally if you were all right, that field right there is pretty good to put the rally in. Let's erect a stage.
So there's a big big time fight between, was it Secret Service fuck up or local police?
Yeah, let me say what Kate's theory is.
Because there's so many theories.
So Kate's theory, which I think is good, was if you watch, he was wearing fatigues, right? So he was dressed, or he was dressed essentially like law enforcement might be from afar. You couldn't necessarily tell.
And he's a lifelong loser that people ignore.
Kate's take was I bet because you have Secret Service coming in to work with other local agencies, plus there's DOD people there. Kate's take was, I bet that they saw him and no one wanted to take the shot because they're is that your guy? Whose guy is that? Is that your guy? And I was that could be it. I mean, that's possible.
No, it is.
Yeah,
that happened. So. There's been a lot of people that have worked security as Secret Service at events before that have been coming out and explaining how these things work. There's an inner circle. Those are the guys that jump on Trump. There's the intermediate circle that's 100 yards out that should have been checking that. That's usually local police and stuff like that. And they explained it. There was another guy who said that during the Bush administration, I think it might have been Bush Senior, but it was one of the Bushes. That scenario almost exactly happened, Pat. Some of the snipers saw guys in full tactical gears and they didn't communicate. It was a SWAT team. and the Secret Service didn't know the SWAT team was there. They almost took out the whole SWAT team.
On the local SWAT team.
Yes.
Right. So Marks, it's funny you mentioned that about the local PD, because a lot of people were saying, well, it would have been the local PD's jurisdiction to look at the close buildings, blah, blah, blah. There's also reports
supposedly
that the local PD, there was one officer who did try to get onto the roof right before the shots were fired, and that the gunman had to aim at him for a second. So people are saying maybe that is what caused him to be such a horrible shot, because it's hard to imagine missing 5 shots from 130 yards.
Well, we just did find out that he got cut from his JV shooting team in high school for being a, quote, comically bad shot.
Didn't even make the team.
Didn't even know they had those teams, but there's shooting teams, and he didn't make the team in high school because he's not.
Because it was a short shot, 130 yards.
Let's think about
that. Let's think about that. So put that map up, Willie, if you have it, right? So the one thing that's been going on with the Secret Service, my dad did a study with them in the 90s, and they were fucked up. There was a bunch of press that came out in 2021 about how fucked up, understaffed, stretched thin they are, right? It's a situation. But looking at that map, right, you assume, like, let's say there's 12 guys on the detail, right? Right. And you have all of local law enforcement at your disposal. I was thinking about this logistically. Like, how would you run this? You have a captain probably who would say, like, hey, local Joe's 40 fucking cops, because they had metal detectors coming in, right? They knew everyone coming in was clean. Right. Go stand there? Was it like a communication failure? Like,
you gotta put everyone on a roof that's
your
within
point,
100 yards.
There's only 6 roofs. There's only 6 roofs, Pat, and that's the closest one. There has to be eyes on that.
You couldn't have anyone on the roofs that are behind the stage, because that's where the Secret Service was. So there's just one roof. Really.
There's some reports coming out that maybe Trump had less Secret Service than maybe Biden does, and stuff like that.
Yeah, of course he did. Yeah,
right,
100%
but
he did.
there were still at least 12 guys there. To your point, there was at least 8 guys that jumped on him in the closest circle. And then what happens with the intermediate area where the local police are? There was like maybe some walkie-talkie failures. You got to have a better line of communication. And there's some eyewitnesses that were standing by where the shooter was, and they saw him as well. And they said they pointed it out to local police. Maybe that's when the cop went up, saw the guy, got the gun pointed at him, scurried back down, and then he rushed the shots.
I'm not going to play sound. This guy was born in police for a long time.
I love how this guy did not put his beard out.
The spiky-haired visor.
Yeah.
He said he warned him 2 or 3 minutes before.
See, I could see how that guy seeing a cop and telling someone would be confusing. Potentially, if the communication was fucked up. Because if you're a cop, if you're a local cop, think about that. You don't have a fucking sniper rifle. There's a guy up there like, you don't want to fucking go up or shoot a Secret Service guy who's,
apparently the person who had
Secret Service, but actually is an assassin.
You don't know what's true or what's not right now. I mean, we'll have to see once like everything official comes out, but there's a lot of people passing around quotes that could be from the guy who took the shot, and he was saying he had him in his scope for a long time, but didn't get the okay to take the shots until after they were fired. There's other people saying that he was monitoring far out and he had to click down to get him because of the whole jurisdiction thing.
You see in that video, it does look like he scopes down, so like that kind of makes sense if there were Secret Service snipers that are looking,
and he's got a huge scope
further than 100 yards away, because that's really close. So he looked like he was maybe looking in the distance. Right. But again, there's only 6.
He's on a stand.
Why aren't you having eyes on all 6 roofs?
Yeah, but you think that he apparently shot him within seconds of the first shot. So I don't know how long,
because he's so close.
Right, but I don't know how long it takes to get someone in your scope, but you think he probably may have already.
I also asked Kate about that. Right? She was like, those guys will drop in 3 seconds.
Yeah,
like they are so good. Like, because there's that one video from the, I guess, stage left, right, where you can see the snipers, and after you hear the shot, they make the move.
Yeah,
those dudes. Yeah, they sighted him and they dropped him in 3 or 4 seconds. Probably.
The shooter got at least 3
shots. It only took
off
one shot
because he killed a guy. He critically injured a guy, and he hit Trump in the ear.
Yeah,
maybe that Trump ear button. Yeah. Maybe that Trump ear button bullet did kill someone. So maybe it was only 2 that he got off clean, but he got at least 3 shots off clean.
Mark, they're saying that's the bullet that killed the father, Corey, the same one that hit Trump in the ear, the right earlobe. And and so
maybe
that's fucked. Right. So there's the whole dispute about like whose fault it was. Yeah, sadly, Corey comparatory, and maybe more because there's 2 critically injured were killed in the crossfire. But then Trump basically won the election when he stood up and fist pumped with the bloody right ear.
Crazy move by him. It was intense.
Have you guys seen the other video of when Trump thought he was being shot out? So like maybe it was 8 years ago
when he
thinks he's being shot out. Yeah. He gets spooked. He reacted so differently. No, like
he's been training. He's been training for this moment.
Well, if you listen to the Secret Service, you hear them say clear, right? right? So maybe it's that he heard that, or I don't know. Maybe he just had a different
they heard him say
temperament.
shooters down, and then he wanted to shoot.
Shooters down. But like, I'll see if I can't find the other video of him getting. No one shot at him this other time, but he thought he was being shot at, and he reacted so differently.
Yeah, Will's point, you learn from it, right? Like
you've seen it once.
First, yeah.
One of the wildest bits of American history, though, that any of us have ever lived through, and unless this kid was trying to get Trump elected, which he almost certainly wasn't.
Ultimate backfire by this kid.
Yeah, he not only gave up his life at age 20, he accomplished the exact opposite of probably what he went in there to accomplish. Because Trump is so far ahead now, and then the swing states, it's Nevada, Arizona, Michigan, Wisconsin, PA. I mean,
Elon Musk will PA. He just won PA. Elon Musk came out. It's over, right? Elon Musk came out and he did like his interview with Don Lemon, and he said like, I will endorse a candidate
when he fired Don Lemon.
Yeah, I will endorse a candidate closer to the elections. I can all explain fully why. I'm not going to do it now. And then after that shooting, Elon Musk tweets to his 180 million Twitter followers just one sentence being like, I fully endorse Trump. Yeah. Like he's our next president. Yeah.
The fist bump won him the election. I'm telling you, as soon as his fist bump went up, he got literally 10 million more votes. He won the election.
And he was like yelling, fight. Like,
Pat, what's your theory though, based on what you said about him? Was he just more prepared, or what do you mean?
I think he heard. I mean, like, look, Trump is a self-preservationist first and foremost, right? And he's also a media genius. I mean, like, the one thing he knows how to do is how to do good TV. I think he heard them say shoot her down or all clear, and then responded in that way.
Oh well, yeah. I mean, he was trained to get on his fucking belly, right? I mean, that's what
right. I mean, but like, agreed. Like, that's. Look, so when
it's some of the craziest photos in U.S. history.
It's usually been crazy people that do, and I still think this kid is going to come out.
This guy's a lunatic.
That's a school shooter situation more than like, specifically like a political ideologue. But when Reagan got shot in 81,
sure, but it was still on the president. I mean,
I think it was like, oh yeah, but when Reagan got shot in 81, it was to impress Jodie Foster, right? And Hinckley, I believe it was.
He's just a nut job. He did like a taxi driver.
And Jody was impressed, who's also in Taxi Driver.
Yeah. This guy is also just a nut job.
Jody was impressed?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, 100%. How could you not be? How could you not be? But
that's romantic.
She was flattered.
Reagan's approval ratings, I think, went up like 40 points. Like, Reagan was not
going to survive an assassination attempt, you go up. And
that's what's going to happen with Trump. You think this map is only getting redder. I mean, it's over. It was already leaning Trump. If you hadn't bet on him yet, you should have, because the odds are just going to skyrocket. It's over. I can't see any way back.
It. I wonder what.
And not only that, it kills the entire momentum the Democrats had, if they had any at all, on replacing Biden as the candidate. So it's just the whole thing. It's just completely the elections. I would say, stick.
And now what they're saying, I don't know, but now they're
Trump's
saying
at
that
66 cents unpredicted. Sorry, Wes. Joe Biden's next at 26 cents. Kamala's at 12 cents, because during Joe's last week where he did all the gaffes, it actually flipped, and Kamala had taken over the lead as the Democratic candidate and predicted. That's now solidly back to Joe, but 67 cents for Trump. It's crazy.
And he's minus 280 on Bovada.
He went from like plus 110 to negative 280 in a span of 2 weeks. It's over.
Yeah.
Well, beyond that, the Biden campaign has, which is the right thing to do, because like the political ads are shit. They suspended all their ads. The Daily Show, right? Who's like a bastion of bringing you politics in a funny, unbiased way. They're pulling out of the RNC. They're not going to be at the RNC this week.
That's what I was going to say. Is that now, like, that was kind of like their thing, right?
They're going to make fun of people at the RNC.
They were going to. Their rhetoric was that he's a danger to democracy. But now that he's actually been shot,
now that he's had an assassination attempt,
now that and Biden said like the thing, put him in a bullseye. Like now, like they can't. It's bad taste to say anything like that at all. So really, they just their whole campaign's kind of fucked.
Right, and then but the fact that some of these right wingers are coming out and saying that it's Biden's fault, like, is blowing my mind. Like, that's blowing my mind. I
don't think it's his fault. Yeah,
the bullseye quote was clearly hyperbole.
Bad quote.
Yeah, right, but if Trump said the same thing, put Biden in the bullseye, and someone on their side shot him with the fucking gun,
he got shot.
People will be saying the same thing. Yeah.
Right. I mean, I thought that like we're so divisive. It just sucks, right? Like especially the guys that died, the guys in critical condition. The fact that an assassination attempt took place on Trump just sucks for America. But the divisiveness is crazy online. A lot of people are saying, "I wish Trump died."
Every
A lot of people are blaming all Democrats. A lot of people are
every
saying,
top
"Civil
comment
war,
is, I wish he was dead. I wish Trump was
or like
dead.
Civil War." Get ready. We're gonna, like it's just like what the fuck. Like I thought COVID was going to bring us all together because it's a global pandemic that made us more divisive. It's just like when is one of these events going to go in our way and we're going to stop treating each other like shit? And yeah, you have different opinions politically, you have different opinions on policies, but why is everyone so fucking hateful to each other and divisive? I don't understand it.
I think it's the Trump effect, man. It's like he's driven people so crazy that after an assassination attempt, they still can't take a play off and not say they wish he was dead. And it's like thousands, millions of people online, millions of Americans.
And if Trump was a little more fucking presidential, he could definitely bring us together. He can't.
He can't.
Well, if he tried a little bit, he could. If
he has more of a chance now than ever. I don't know if he's going to, especially after someone tried to kill him.
He can't fucking help himself.
Right.
He has no interest in it. I mean,
I'm saying he could.
Why is it so divisive? Because look, there's differing opinions, but I personally believe that there's some stuff that Trump could do as a president that we can't come back from. That's why. And a lot of other people feel that same way too. They feel that same way. They feel like it's pushing it to a brink that we've never been to before, and it's bad. And I think
Project 20.
Yeah, but this is the first time I've seen somebody try to be assassinated.
I think like the January 6th shit, the denying of the election.
This is a new brink. I mean,
the fake electors.
They just rebrinked J6. J6 got totally rebrinked.
Right. It just shows that both sides have lunatics, right? Like this.
But that's always been the case. I think the divisiveness. Traditionally, like people come together after this.
The brink is now further than J6. The brink just got pushed this weekend past J6. For sure,
it's bad.
Yeah, it's bad. I mean,
it's bad. It's bad for America. It was a bad event. I don't know, man. It's just like, what are we doing? Why is there so much?
Yeah, I mean, first presidential assassination attempt in what 40.
I mean,
40
I guess
so, yeah,
you can't go out there and be your own judge during an execution. You can't do it, which this guy tried to do. But like at the same point, the courts are rigged. So like the courts are rigged, and it's their kangaroo courts, and the justice system is slanted against Donald Trump. So like, I don't know. I'm kidding, guys, because he said that he like weakened trust in the courts because they were coming after him.
Listen, nobody's doing any side any favors. They got the Dems attacking. You got Trump saying,
"How are the Dems attacking?"
Well, just every political move in the past fucking 8 years has been against the other side. It's fucking ridiculous. Both sides do it. They're both prosecuting each other. They're both trying to put Hunter in jail, put Trump in jail. It's all fucking stupid. It's ridiculous. They're both doing it. So the politicians are dividing us just as much as the main guys.
Of course they are.
It's fucking in the media too.
Both sides politicians. The Republicans are coming out and saying stuff like like in Trump's
MTG. Yeah, she had some bad ones, right?
No, they're both.
Every Democrat's a pedophile. All kinds of stuff.
Or the congressman. What's his name? Who Biden ordered the hit.
Right. There are a lot of Congress people putting up that bullseye quote. And
but there also are elected officials. Yeah.
No, it's all from the top down.
And that drives
two oldest idiots and the rest.
There are a few people that came out and they're trying to say there shouldn't be violence. This is unacceptable.
I mean, every Democrat, but every elected Democrat, yes. But yeah.
Well, I mean, a lot of Republicans obviously said the same thing since it was an assassination.
A lot, not all.
Yeah. So, anyone saying anything besides that is kind of
Pat, are you trying to say that like the Democrats come out better looking from Trump's assassination than the Republicans?
What I'm trying to say is part of the reason we're so divided.
I just don't understand that.
Let me finish. Part of the reason we're so divided is because there's a decorum, right, and a respect for decorum, and Donald Trump and his
assassination attempts kind of break that decorum, right?
Let me finish. Donald Trump and his party and the people that came with him, people that got behind him after he made fun of them, and then they got in line like cucks behind him. They break that decorum in the way that Donald Trump made it okay to break that decorum. In the same way,
but then he just goaded them into the ultimate
decorum and all those people.
He just goaded them
don't
into
break
the ultimate
decorum in this way, like where they're going to say, like, I wish he was dead. We're like Don Jr., who put his Paul Pelosi Halloween costume up and then tweeted yesterday, I can't believe CNN was saying this about my dad after he joked about some guy Nancy Pelosi's husband getting beaten in the face
Right,
by
but
a hammer.
when you get the first assassination attempt on you in over 40 years, you get that's the brink pusher. It pushes it past all of those other brinks, and then now he's the owner of that brink.
Traditionally so everyone should try to cool it
Bush
out.
started a war over that.
But saying that
Yes,
Biden,
100%,
saying that Biden put out a hit, is only further stoking for their own.
For sure, it
interest.
is. Yes,
I don't think anyone
it
here
is
is really saying Biden put out a hit, but I understand.
No, Pat's referring
except
to
for
a few of
Republican
the politicians. Pat's referring
that are
to
in Congress.
Yes, a few of the politicians. Obviously, we're not West, but they're just in general, not only politicians, but and this is on both sides, the divisiveness, but large media personalities or content creators that are trying to stoke divisiveness over this. It's kind of just gross, but that's the way it is in America.
Yeah, it's weird. It's just a sad day for everybody. There's a lunatic that tried to kill a president for the first time in 43 years.
That we know of. I think it's
the closest. I'm sure the Secret Service have stopped a lot of people.
Legitimate assassination.
This was pretty damn close. Yeah, I mean, it hit him in the ear, and if the guy wasn't the worst shot that got cut from his JV,
it was a legit attempt.
Well, a lot of right-wing commentators are giving actually Trump the credit, for turning his head at the last moment, which is actually in a way lifts up the guy's shooting ability potentially, but it's Trump's own actions that saved his life. A lot of people are saying.
They're saying he got lucky. I know.
No. They're saying
he got lucky.
Well, because he's an instrument of God.
He's like a boxer.
No, they're saying he's an instrument of God, right? God's not going to let someone die. He's not done using yet.
So God did save him, Pat.
He turned at the right.
Well, people are going to interpret. People are going to interpret him. Hey, Pat. I mean, people are going to interpret the fist bump picture however they want to, but it won him the election. It doesn't matter. I mean, at the end of the day, you can feel how you want about the outcome of this. It won him the election. It's over.
Yeah.
I agree, but I mean, you can't compete with that level of.
You can't. Biden's done. Put him in the oven. Not the oven.
But also you look at people that are on the fence.
Stick a fork in him.
Get that meat thermometer to him. He's done.
I want to know why Trump didn't just say the words instead he mouthed them the whole time. He was vocal about wanting his shoes, but then he was he didn't say fight. He just didn't say the word.
He's probably in shock. He got hit in the ear.
He might have had voice modulation, because he couldn't hear.
Right.
The shoe thing did make.
He thought he was saying it.
I was thinking about the shoe thing.
Silently mouthed it.
I could have sworn I was saying it. Right, guys?
His need for his shoes got me thinking he's in shock, or because he's a germaphobe. He's got a thing about his feet, maybe about his shoes, because he's I need my shoes, but he's a billionaire.
Producer Eric setting us straight in the private chat. Mike was turned off after.
That's
the
what
show.
I thought. They turned everything off. Yeah, I mean, I'm sure.
Well, only because I heard him talk about his shoes that I thought he was mouthing.
No, they turned the mic off. Yeah.
Hey, Eric, can you pull up the picture of this dude? So there was a guy that made memes about it, and then he looks so much like the shooter. A verified account ran with his picture. Hold up.
So many verified accounts. Well, this guy claimed he was Crooks, and he put a video up. No, not this guy, right?
No, not this guy.
No, this is the guy who saw the cop.
Are you talking about at Jews gazing? The
yeah. This dude right here.
His name's at Jew gazing. I don't even know what the fuck.
I gotta delete all my selfies ASAP, and he just looks exactly like the shooter.
Well, see on the bottom right, he does a video where he says he's Thomas Matthew Crooks, and he's like, "You guys got the wrong guy. I'm alive. I'm not the shooter." And so many publications picked that up, especially in Asia, China, and everywhere. They put it up, and they were like, Thomas Matthew Crooks might not be the right guy. Here's a picture of him. He's talking after the shooting. And this guy just went with the biggest troll of all time. He also only had 2,000 Twitter followers, and it went insane, but he only gained 1,000 Twitter followers, and he surely got arrested because his account went completely protected today.
Yeah,
and it's gone. He's in a room right now without windows getting questioned.
That's tough for Jew gazer.
Yeah,
I mean, I'm surprised we haven't seen. And Wes, you might know the answer to this.
Name.
The standard that you're going to shoot at is 60 frames a second. Anything more than that starts to get into slow motion, right?
No, you shoot 60 when you want to slow something down, usually.
No, I know. The more frames a second, the better you can slow something down. But there's no reason. I'm trying to think. I haven't seen any slow motion footage that's more than 60 frames a second, right? Have you guys?
No, yeah, there's. I mean, nowadays cameras are
there's
120.
like
there's 240. Like a lot of the cameras shoot at 120 now. But you don't shoot that unless you're you're going to slow something down later.
Yeah, unless you do slow mo later.
Yeah, that's crazy. If that bullet,
it was probably just a lucky frame. Yeah. I mean, there's so
that
many
was a still camera, right? That was a still shot.
Stills. Probably stills. Yeah.
There's so many stills. Maybe he was just constantly taking pics.
He just got lucky,
like nonstop.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
just a lucky shot. Unlike the actual shooter, and everybody, as we should say, I mean, lucky,
Well, listen, real
not
quick.
getting into that. I'm just saying he was a pathetic shooter. I believe the school shooting club probably.
Real quick, before we get on to any sponsors or anything, I think it's important to say that, like, regardless of how you feel politically, it's a good thing that Trump didn't get killed. It would have been
less murders are good.
It would have been really bad had Trump gotten assassinated for America. That would have been bad for America, and for already we're very divisive. That would have been bad for society and people if that had happened.
Right. And with him not dying, he's still getting lumped in with the greats that did get killed, like JFK, Lincoln.
I saw that picture today of him with all.
I knew it was going to happen as soon as it happened.
He belongs there. Sorry,
he's following in Reagan's footsteps, like his
really
boy,
Reagan.
He's following almost directly in Reagan's footsteps.
He was
almost identical.
I mean, you know who doesn't belong there is McKinley, and you don't see him there.
See the guy that died in the tub? Who's the guy that died in the tub? Taft.
Taft, I think.
Yeah.
Taft didn't die in the tub.
He got stuck in a tub.
He got stuck in a tub.
He's a fat man. Well,
that's like the opposite of the fist bump. Getting up from the Taft getting stuck in the tub is the opposite.
Yeah, these men are ridiculous. All of them are just old, rich idiots, and so you shouldn't really be that worked up about it. You should just chill out, okay? You should
don't take it out on your neighbors and stuff.
Presidents
just relax.
That have been shot real quick.
Relax.
McKinley, and he died like such a long time later because people kept putting his hands into his wound, including Thomas Edison.
Yeah,
let me get in there, see if I can get those fragments.
Oh no, they didn't know much about infections.
One more leech in there.
Yeah, no. Edison developed like a specific like a metal detector since he tried to find it, was reaching around there with his hands. Roosevelt got shot, but the bullet was stopped with his speech, which is about 50 pages folded up in his front breast pocket.
Oh wow.
Right, Reagan got shot by Hinckley and obviously lived.
That was a ricochet too. That was a ricochet.
Kennedy.
I'm gonna grab those bullets. Let me just finish my lunch.
Kennedy got shot pretty good.
George Wallace, who was running for president, was murdered as an independent, and then obviously RFK was murdered as running for president. JFK was murdered by the government.
Bringing back the trends
and the mafia.
Speaking of RFKs, he might not want to do any rallies since they give him absolutely zero.
They do now.
Oh, do they?
They he was complaining, but the law is it's like 180 days before the election, which he knew the law, but he was just complaining to get attention.
Right. Wow. Well, there you go. First one in 43 years. Everybody should relax. Okay. Political violence is about the nerdiest, stupidest, worst waste of time, dumbest thing I could ever imagine. You should just relax instead.
Right. Everyone should just march down to the Capitol peacefully and fight like hell. I agree.
I mean, political violence in all forms is bad, I would say. Not trying to take a side, Pat. I don't know why you're trying to make me take a side
because
here.
I agree. No, he just is a stoker of political violence. I agree. But political violence is no good.
Okay. Yes, it's bad. I think everybody should just chill out. Maybe take a Lucy, which is our sponsor today, made for your nicotine routine and delivered straight to your door. 100% pure nicotine, always tobacco-free. Choose your form: pouches, breakers, or gum. The breakers have like a little, a liquid capsule in it. You can break it, kind of like a crush, in there. It gives it extra zing. Choose your strength: 2 milligrams to 12 milligrams each. What I do: save myself from the weekly gas station stop and potential outages striking the U.S. gas stations for pouches all over the nation. And I signed up for a monthly subscription, save 15% off, no commitment, cancel anytime. Lucy's at your door every month on schedule. Mango 12s, pouches for me. What's your favorite Lucy's, fellas?
Oh, I've been back on those Mango 12s too. I was on breakers for a while, but I'm on those 12s.
Mango's great. I actually, I'm on the espresso right now. It's my last pack.
Those are just
espresso, very good. The blue mint, also great. The cinnamon, also fantastic. Let's level up your nicotine routine with Lucy. Go to lucy.co/hardfactor HARDFACTOR and use promo code HARDFACTOR to get 20% off your first order. Lucy offers free shipping and has a 30-day refund policy if you change your mind. Everybody's doing it in the Heart of Hive because it's the best. It's way better than any of those other brands out there if you're looking for it. That's lucy.co and use code HARDFACTOR to get 20% off and always free shipping. And here comes the fine print. Lucy products are only for adults of legal age, and every order is age verified. Warning, this product contains nicotine. Nicotine is an addictive chemical.
They are stronger, cheaper, and juicier than the competitors.
Better.
Can confirm.
Flat out better.
Bigger, badder, stronger. Okay, this show is also sponsored by BetterHelp. Do you think BetterHelp might be a useful service to some people in America?
Yep.
Yeah.
I'd say
These
so.
days.
I'd say therapy now more than ever, right? Whether you tend to compare your life to others, constantly looking at social media and comparing your life to others, or getting upset at what people are saying or doing online. Comparison's the thief of joy, and it's easy to envy other people's lives. It might look like they have it all together on their Instagram, but in reality, they probably don't. And honestly, a lot of people don't have it all together on their Instagrams either and should use some BetterHelp. Therapy can help you focus on what you want instead of what others have, so you can start living your best life. Therapy is helpful. It's helpful for learning positive coping skills and how to set boundaries, and empowers you to be the best version of yourself. It isn't just for those who've experienced major trauma in their lives. If you're thinking of starting therapy, give BetterHelp a try. It's entirely online, designed to be convenient, flexible, and suited to your schedule. Just fill out a brief questionnaire to get matched with a licensed therapist, and you can switch therapists at any time for no additional charge. Stop comparing and start focusing with BetterHelp. Visit betterhelp.com /hardfactor today to get 10% off your first month. That's better, BETTER, help, HELP.com /hardfactor.
Maybe if that crazy liberal would have gotten some help, he wouldn't have tried to kill the president. You know what I mean?
I heard his parents were therapists. Go figure.
I don't think they were.
No, I think that's.
I don't think he got any therapy.
No,
and this honestly,
he looks exactly like I thought he would look like as a registered Republican.
Honestly, it's clearly not a funny issue, and we're trying to make light of it somehow because we do a comedy show. But now more than ever, I think we could use Will's school nurse hand job for help, because this kid was a confirmed incel that got bullied at school, and if a hot nurse had jerked him off and released some of his yolk, I don't know if we would be talking about this today.
I agree. But at a minimum, reach out to BetterHelp, because they're gonna be the most realistic.
And until they have the hand job program, BetterHelp's your best bet.
Exactly.
Okay. You guys want to talk about Alec Baldwin and that insane mistrial? Who's got the picture? Who's got the picture of Academy Award winning cries at trial? Alec Baldwin.
You can see the catharsis on his face when he was let go, and it must be an emotional moment for him. I don't think we grabbed it, but trust us, you can look it up. Alec Baldwin.
I'll grab it. You guys keep talking.
He looks emotional.
Yeah. So what happened?
So what happens? He gets let off by a mistrial because they're saying that the prosecution didn't provide all of the evidence clearly, prior to the trial beginning. Right. Yeah. What was it, Wes? What's it specific?
It's the Brady violation.
Brady is both sides get all the evidence. So there's no surprise at the trial. A lot of people don't understand this, but it is a civil as well. By the time you go to trial, presumably every potential piece of evidence or argument has been seen by both sides. There's supposed to be no surprises. Sometimes in trials, the data is so voluminous that someone will miss some shit. But the idea is both sides are supposed to be completely 100% prepped on everything that'll be presented. Nothing new can come in that's a surprise. So if someone does bring something in or not share something, then
do we know what evidence the prosecution had?
Especially if the prosecution suppresses something that may be beneficial to the defendant, and that was one of the big things that happened here.
Go ahead.
It was the evidence about the context of when the shooting happened. Apparently,
okay.
Something about what was going on at the time, why he fired the gun. It was maybe part of some rehearsal.
We learned a lot of damning evidence before, 2 weeks ago, that we talked about in pre-trial, which they disclosed. But I guess
it was information that maybe could have helped him, but it wouldn't have necessarily got him off. But because the prosecution didn't, put it before the trial, and so everybody could see it, that's why the judge declared a mistrial. He's scot-free. He also cannot be tried for the same crime again.
Yeah, no, it's over. It was a surprise, shock, out of the blue mistrial. Look, this looks like the face of a guy who thought he might be spending some time in jail.
Oh, for sure. He thought he was going to the jailhouse.
That's like he thought. I mean, after the woman was
big
sentenced,
reversal for Alec Baldwin.
He was not. He was surprised. Yeah.
I forgot to mention this. In criminal trials, obviously, law enforcement has subpoena power, right? That's why, like, defendants in criminal trials will hire private investigators. It's like, hey, go find some shit out. Go talk to people. See if someone can share something with you. But the government can obviously go like, I'm going to subpoena these phone records. I'm going to subpoena these emails. So they might see some shit that weakens their case that they don't share.
Also save them a ton of money.
Live comment or 18
evidence was on the rounds. Exactly.
So
the rounds that were
related
used
to the rounds. Yeah.
So producer Eric says a live bullet was also found in actor Jensen Ackles' prop holster. So there was a bunch of shit that was left out.
Yeah, but Jensen wasn't using his gun like a toy and pointing it at people and fake shooting at staff. Jensen was a little more professional than Alec Baldwin.
But it was evidence that could have. It was evidence.
The armor was ridiculous. Yes,
it could have minimized his liability. Absolutely, whether or not he would have gotten off completely, but it would have definitely minimized his liability.
The state was just dumb not to enter the evidence. It probably wouldn't have gotten him off.
Oh, the state botched it like the assassin did.
Well, a lot of times, like prosecutors, like they're selfish, they're egotistical in a lot of respects. Like they want to win cases, right? Even sometimes they make it more about them than the actual administration of justice. That's why they hide shit sometimes.
A lot of people were saying Alec Baldwin would
want to win.
Alec Baldwin wouldn't have missed the shot. A lot of people were saying. Also, a lot of people are saying that the assassin was a worse shot than Bronny James. Tough look for crooks.
Wow.
Right. And he's shooting with his dad's gun. Similar. Baldwin, man,
69.
I don't know.
And he's ruining the thing his dad loves most. Very similar.
Yeah.
Or trying to.
And it means the end of his dad's career, too. Last year,
all of it. It's all. I mean, basically the Bronze, the LeBrons, and the Crooks. They got some. They could maybe do like a reality.
He's in the pod. Yeah, I know.
After LeBron hangs up the
It's gonna be a real awkward season in Los Angeles for so many reasons.
The Lakers teammates start calling Bronny Crooks Jr.
Mm-hmm. We could really relate,
Yeah. Oh. All right, you guys want to end like a funny one?
Sure.
It's kind of been a shitty news weekend. Okay. So, what would you say would be the best thing possible work related for to happen?
Start fucking a coworker.
That's pretty good.
That's a good one. Like but as long as you don't get in trouble for it.
Yeah, as long as you're not married and you're single, you can fuck your coworker.
Well, no, but even at work, it's complicated. That is great, though. Yeah.
Some sort of harassment that doesn't actually bother you, but ends up getting you paid, where you don't have to work.
Okay, Pat's closer. Mm-hmm. How about you get paid to not show up to work?
Perfect.
Good. Yeah,
that's awesome.
That is the best
perfect scenario.
That's exactly what happened to back to that magic number. 69-year-old. Joaquin Garcia, who for 6 years just didn't show up to work and no one noticed. And he kept getting his $42,000 annual salary paid, even though he spent 0 days in the office, 0 days remote working, and 0 hours working.
So he just decided he was never going to let him know and just never show up again, and it worked out.
Yeah, he just stopped going to work, and I guess probably at some point thought he was going to get a phone call or an email being like, all right, you coming back to work, you're fired, you quit, what's going on? He thought it was going to work itself out, but he just stopped going to work at 63.
I hope it was
paid at 69.
I hope it was a scenario where there was like another Joaquin with the same last name, and then the manager was just too scared to not pay one of them. And so they just never checked. They were just like, we'll just keep paying both Joaquins.
When you're not sure.
And then that way we don't have to ask anybody.
Yeah.
This is the Italian guy in Italy. He worked at the hospital for 15 years and they kept paying him and nobody.
Yeah. How big of a staff was that situation? What was the office like? What's going on here? How is this possible?
Yeah. It says he's a government worker and where's Cadiz? It sounds like Spain, maybe. So he was like a government worker at a water treatment plant in a city in Spain. And he went on like a $30,000 extended paid vacation. And he just never showed back up after the vacation. Maybe he thought it was like mandatory retirement at 63, but he's never came back to work. And they just kept fucking paying him. And they didn't find out until he won an award for his 20 years of dedicated service, and he didn't show up to claim the award. They're like, Joaquin, where's Joaquin? And someone's like, I haven't seen him. And who's people that have been working there for 5 years was like, I've never seen Joaquin.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
What job was he supposed to be doing?
Water plant treatment. So the water wasn't getting treated.
A job where somebody pays no attention to you at all.
Yeah.
Are they clawing it back?
Amazing.
It said Garcia's water company coworkers thought the plant was being overseen by local authorities because they hadn't seen Garcia in so long. So no one was maintaining.
Yeah. They can't get the money back. He doesn't have it. He's been.
Can they sue for everyone getting the runs for him not treating the water?
They're they're idiots. They pay so little attention to their own business that they didn't know a guy didn't show up for 20 years and they kept paying him. That's just on the completely horribly run state government there, or whatever happened. Whoever runs that shit. Insane. So
coworkers told El Mundo. So I don't know if this is Mexico or Spain. Where's Cadiz? You let me know, Eric. But they told El Mundo that not coworkers, friends of Joaquin said that he dedicated himself to reading philosophy instead of going to work for the past 6 years. So he was just at home reading Descartes and the classics.
I'd like to hear his thoughts on this weekend's activities. He probably have some insightful stuff.
Some Homer, some Socrates, some Plato, and those guys didn't tell you to go to work in those old philosophy books they wrote. I'll tell you that much. When you get into philosophy, when you get deep into philosophy, you're not dedicating yourself to showing up to the water plant.
If you got too into the Greek stuff, you got to watch out for some other stuff, though.
Oh yeah. So
they had some proclivities.
You win some, you lose some. Anyways, tough news week. Hope everyone's staying healthy and happy, and we love y'all. We'll talk to you tomorrow. Get out there and have a great fucking day. Talk to you tomorrow.